So I grew up in a mud hut in a village in KZN, in a place called Msinga. My parents were political activists, and they believed the only way to change people's lives was to live just like them. So I believe we have currently got the age of the Afropolitan, an Afropolitan generation. And this Afropolitan generation is very much about people who are culturally African and at the same time modern. In fact, anthropologists talk about fast and slow culture. Fast culture is the adoption of things like cell phones and other modern conveniences, and at the same time, slow culture is the slower change and adoption of things and the norms of our culture. People speak a certain kind of English, and we should be respectful and dignify them in the sense of being able to speak the same way and not force them to speak the English of the Queen. She said, "I sell robots," and she went next door and she came back with green, red, and yellow peppers. If you've got a fancy wall around your house, you've got to stop nonsense. So, when you get directions, they say, drive around here, via, short left, and then there's a stop nonsense, and then that's the house. Significant events within communities. Weddings. We don't have just the white wedding, we have the traditional wedding. Baby showers. Baby showers is another huge thing with the traditional slant onto it. And often what we see as a modern thing is actually part of the traditional past, just presented and evolving in a new way. Goats and machoshas in sex war. They use a language that's unique. Does everyone know what a machosha is? I went home to visit my wife, happens to be white, and I was chatting to Sue about this, and I said to her, you won't believe how many women in Soweto have Brazilians. And Sue was like, oh, that's very interesting. And I said, yeah, they showed them to me. And Sue was like, what? Like, yeah, and I felt them, they felt real. And my wife was in complete shock until I realized that for a white woman, a Brazilian was a certain way of shaving your private parts. And a Brazilian in this environment was a Brazilian hair extension. So just what I call the Gasikos industry, a range of businesses from Skop to Mogodu to Shebo, Amakwinyama Plate, there's a huge industry of it, is worth about 87 billion rand a year in South Africa. This is a kota, the burger of the townships, quarter loaf of bread with slap chips and atchar and slice of polony. As you can see, it's banting friendly and endorsed by the Heart Foundation. We built a 1.5 billion rand industry around cheese slices going into Gordas and Vetkoek in the township environment for Parmalat, in an environment that never existed before. This is the croissant of the township. This lady over here, her and her husband sell 3,000 Vetkoek every single day for 1 rand each. Plus they sell about 500 rands worth of polony slices, cheese slices, fish, tea and coffee. This is called a Dunusa salon. It means bare bum, because when you wash your hair, your bum is out in the street. She rents this Dunusa salon for 1,500 rand a month. I asked her if she rents out this rock with shwams and gip-gips and other snacks. She said, I can't rent out a rock. But I think she was thinking about it. The next big retail sector in this country, in the next 5 years, is going to be the spazaret sector. There's 100,000 spazas, spazarettes, and cash and carries in South Africa worth 100 to 150 billion rand a year. And I'm told that my figures are fairly conservative. They are 5 to 10% cheaper than ShopRite and Pick n Pay. 26 years, she's put two of her children through university, and that whole 26 years, her husband has never been employed. So I said to her, how do you know how much to restock? She looked at me like I was stupid. She said, Dotana, do you think after 26 years, I do not know how much I need to restock? I said to her, would you take another job if you could find one? And she said, what would I do, Dotana? Would I come and wash your underpants at your house? Which puts it into perspective. But some other did-you-knows. The traditional muti market in South Africa is worth 3 billion rand, which is about 6% of our national health budget. But anyway, that did you know is not one of ours. Is Coca-Cola doesn't know that traffic officers charge 200 rand for cold drink.